Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, yai da 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi.
Gouda Shabbos for those sticking around for the cheese part.
I was going to give you a warm up, Rabbi. I was going to lead you in and not take you're afraid I was going to take your Gouda Shabbos. Well, we're looking forward to that at the end. But look, listen, it's just a nice evening for us to be together. And remarkably, as many of us reflect how quickly these Fridays return to us, reminding us, giving ourselves a moment of pause, a reflection of time together to sort of make a benchmark in our week and recognize really truly the blessings that are here, that perspective we so often need. So, hey, as we always do, let's create that community. Let's wish one another a Shabbat Shalom. Let's say hi to each other, introduce ourselves, tell us where you're praying from, how you're coming to our services tonight, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook. Of course, if you want to follow in a prayer book, they're available through our website, through the resources section there. So you can download that. But it's a Kaya service, because cancer. It's a Kaya service. So it's just some meditation. It's our prayers. It's some songs. It's just some breathing. It's some time together. But being Shabbat, let's begin with the kindling of our Shabbos candles. If only I remember where I put my lighter. Sing really slowly.
It's a nice long intro.
It's in the fireplace.
For those who are halakhically observant, that's not the way to light Shabbos candles. You're not supposed to use one to light the other. I apologize. Nor are you supposed to burn your fingers as you go into the fireplace like I did. Just a heads up there. For those who are joining us for the cheese tasting, that will be a separate link as you all received. That's after our services. So we're doing a full service first, and we invite you to join us for that as well. But now it's time for Shabbat. It's time to breathe in deeply God's gift to each and every one of us, to breathe out our gift to this world. To remind ourselves with each breath that we bring in, every time you inhale is an acknowledgement of life. Every time you exhale is a moment to celebrate that life. So let's sing as we give thanks for the goodness, the kindness our lives bring to this world.
Olam chesed yivaneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesed yivaneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesed yivaneh, yadadai. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed yibaneh.
Breathe in deeply as we think of those words, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Breathe out slowly, reminding ourselves the fact that the world is sustained and built on kindness. As I said before, breathe in, recognizing that every inhale is an acknowledgement of life, of being alive. No matter what else we experience is going on, we're here. And every exhale is a celebration of that life, but even more on Shabbat is an appreciation of our lives. The recognition of what we can feel and experience. I was watching something this week. You'll get a sense of what I was watching, and seeing the Pixar lamp dance around as it looks up and shines light, so that the rest of the screen gets illuminated. And I was thinking, in a sense, that's what we are, each of us, to each other, in how we bring light into our world, and how we illuminate our world through our connections, our relationships, through our very being and celebrating of life. The Shabbat candles, we tell our preschoolers every week, as we give each and every one of them their own Shabbat candle, because they make the world brighter. Each one of them, each one of you, each one of us illuminates our world. So as we think of those words, as we think about how we acknowledge life, but even more, we celebrate life, we appreciate life, think about in your own life who's around you that you illuminate a little bit, that you give more life to, that through the kindness and through your being, through your love, you're able to illuminate others, to bring more light into our world, to make our world a better place. We're told that Shabbat is kadosh. It's holy, distinct, unique, separate, different from any other day. Because the rest of the days, the rest of the week is filled with the stress, the mundane, the challenges, the frustrations. The reality is it's all about our perspective. And Shabbat, we are told to use our abilities to appreciate more, to make ourselves more aware, to make ourselves more conscious of that appreciation, that blessing that's there. That reality of Olam Chesed Yibaneh, that the world is sustained on kindness, on love, and that we have a hand in bringing more of that kindness into our world.
I will build this world from love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. עולם חסד ייבנה
With that intention, we use our time together now with the prayers we always sing, that we always say, that link us together as a community, remind us of the blessings that are here with us right now. We join together in our call to worship the Baruch Hu. As always, if you'd like to rise, please do so. If you'd like to stay seated, that's good too.
And be holy.
the next prayer that we join together in the words of the Hashkivenu. It's a prayer that was written for the evening. It's written for when we go to bed, for when we lie down and our mind starts to wander at times and think of some of the challenges in our world and in our lives. Because the words of the Hashkivenu, we ask that God help us go to sleep tonight. God watch over us when we are sleeping in our souls, and that God protect us. And so for a moment, I invite you to close your eyes again and to look within. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in, slowly inhaling through your nose, and breathe out, exhaling through your mouth. Continue to focus on your breathing. Something that we do thousands of times each day without noticing, without paying attention to it. Breathe in, breathing in that gift to us, and breathe out, sharing your gift with the world. As you continue to focus on your breathing, picture yourself at night, laying in bed, getting ready to fall asleep. What are the things that come into your mind that you picture? Is it the challenges of the day, of the week? Or is it blessings, gifts, rewards that fill our lives? Is it the thought of a loved one who may have passed, a loved one who's far away, a loved one who's close, but who we can't see? Or does your mind wander and think of something else? With those thoughts, we turn to God. And we say, Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu malkeinu l'chaim. We say, tonight, God, let us lie down in peace. And permit us to wake up in the security of knowing that we are safe, that we are loved. Picture in your mind what it feels like to know that you're safe, to have that protection, to know that life will continue. What does it feel like to be loved, to receive love, and to give love? Our hope is that as we recite these prayers, as we sing with cantor, tomorrow morning when we wake up, we feel that love and that protection, and we celebrate life.
Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom.
continue with the Amidah as we rise together and we take a moment for our own private meditations, following the prayers within our own hearts, an opportunity for each one of us to have our own conversation within and with God. Please pray silently.
לרצון אמרחי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני אדוני צורי אדוני צורי May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Oh Lord, my rock, oh Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Adonai sefetai tiftachu fi agid tehillatech. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, v'Elohei Rachel. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mkayim emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, U'midom eloch, Melech mimit u'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
In the midst of our prayer, so do our thoughts turn to those, of course, in need of healing and strength. And as we come together as a community, so is it in linking ourselves together. We give strength to those in need. So is it in mentioning names. We think of those in our friends and family, our congregation, our community, and let them know that they're in our prayers. And also, in a sense, an announcement so others can pick up the phone and call and send some love as well. And so we say, Mishaberach Abotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, v'imotenu sarv kalei Avrachel, hu yivarech et cholim. Merciful God, who's blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Becca, Leah, and Rachel. Send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness, anxiety, friends and family of our congregation, Elisayoto, Larry Burke, Ben Vigilajak, Grace Geraldine Carafelli, Ancio Campbell, Karen Casman, Lindsay Cooper, Malik Kotent, Ezra Chaim Ben Devora, Gary Fishman, Barb Flair, Sandy Flair, Karen Garassi, Ginny Marshall Gaspari, Kathy Gilman, Sandy Garosh, Batia Bapesha Panina, Susan Greenberg, Charles Gross, Sherry Gutter, Hank Heiser, Stuart Hike, Helen Indiana, Sarah Jacobson, Bruce Kay, Serafina Coffrin, Alyssa Coltoneau, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Francisco Leva, Alan Lippett, Michael Malley, Zoe Marcus, Beth Margolin, Joyce Maza, Perry Moss, Lori Moss, Scott Miles, Kate Negron, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Razel Batlea Miriam, Marjorie Pensine, Melanie Pohl, James Raftery, Joanne Reed, Barbie Ryder, Jody Richmond, Alan Rosen, Mona Rosenbaum, St. Amand family, Amy Selmanoff, Rachel Schulman, Suzanne Zalesnik Smith, Barbara Storm, Chaim Shmuel ben Noach, Kocha ben Noach, Bill Vigilius, Malka Sarah Batyita, Helene Wolf, as well as all those battling the coronavirus, both at home and in the hospital, and the 53,117 American troops who've been injured in Iraq and Afghanistan to date. All the names in our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei Cholim, blessed are you, God, who cares for those in need.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
We add to our prayers this one, thinking of the healers, those who care for the sick, those in need. Eloheinu v'Elahei Avotenu v'Imotenu, may the one who's blessed our ancestors, plus all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick, physicians and nurses, orderlies, technicians, home health aides, EMTs, pharmacists, hospital social workers, respiratory therapists, mental health professionals, psychologists, who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day to tend to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear, sustain them. Bless the sacred work of their hands. May this plague pass from among us speedily and in our days. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
We continue with our Aleinu and our concluding prayers as we rise together.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Mystics teach us that the Kaddish has different meanings every time it is recited. In their minds, it is a prayer that links earth to heaven and bridges the chasm between the living and the dead. The Kaddish is the assurance that the soul is enduring and the human spirit is indestructible. It is a prayer that permits a child to remember a parent and a parent to remember a child. It is an opportunity to bind wounds and bring generation closer to generation. In light and in darkness, it is all of these and more. For it is our people's memory of the best that life has to offer. And so on this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days, whose Shiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Asya Bat Arkady, Zoila Zapata, Gavriel Pinkasov, Boo Klein, Eleanor Zupke, Adele Kornfeld, Clara Selleck, Annette Sack, David Blank, Anna Selitskaya, Henry Binder, Jonathan Raven, Robin Sindici, Stephen Dill, Diane Silverstein, Marcy Brontman, Fanny Zuckerman, the 7,038 Americans in our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the surrounding areas to date, and the 479,458 Americans who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. And to their names, we add those whose yahrzeits we mark, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Jack Aronoff, Joseph Berger, Sanford Mark Burke, Lori J. Beagle, Mayor Blackman, Jeffrey Blatt, Annette Borenstein, Jerry Brenner, Peggy Bresner, Leonard Cooper, Dolores Marie Curley, Ella Ellman, Evelyn Felsenfeld, Herman Judson Feinberg, Albert Finstein, Joseph Firestone, Charles Chucky Gayer, Etta Goldberg, Jessica Rose Gritch, Walter Haas, Rabbi Ben Hollander, Celia Jacobs, Norm Keene, Dorothy Klausner, Shirley Kornspan, Elise Lewis, Sandy Lewis, Cynthia Lustig, Estelle Rand Mass, Ida Miller, Renee Mills, Sam Mursky, Sam Myers, Lorraine Popper, Louis Popper, Jack Posar, August Recchia, Betty Rosen, Sarah Ross, Lawrence Rubenstein, Elon Schwartz, Jerome Silberman, Lori Simon, Aubrey Smith, Minnie Sosson, Sid Stahl, Joseph Steingold, Betty Steinkamp, Ryan Adam Uniton, Lisa Sue Weiner, Ben Wetman, Michelle Wright Cox, Molly Zager, Bernard Zamler, along with all the names in our hearts and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, do we join together in the immortal words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal, Viget Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divra Chirite Va'amlich Malchute, B'chayachon, Uvyomachon, Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Batgala Uvizman Kariv V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Omei Amaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitalev V'yitalal Shmei D'Kudusha B'richu, Le'elam Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbachata V'nechamata, Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Huya Se Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. As together we say, Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru על כל יושבי תבל ואמרו, אמרו אמן. לילה 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 יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
If you have a Tish question, you can send them in through the YouTube chat, and we'll see if we can get to them in a moment. But a few things to share. But before we share some announcements, a word of Torah. If I may, take that privilege in this opportunity to talk about this week's Torah portion because it is Parasha Mishpatim. And across the country, it's called our Hebrew Free Loan Shabbat because of this important Torah portion. Hebrew Free Loan is a wonderful organization here in Metro Detroit, as it is in many communities, but based on the verse in Parasha Mishpatim that tells us that you should not charge interest when you give a loan to someone in your community. So this organization was begun in the 19th century to make sure that we as a Jewish community could take care of our own, could help one another. Hebrew Free Loan continues to do that in many beautiful ways, whether it's helping someone who is facing difficult times out of work and getting a loan to pay for their rent, or with the William Davidson Jewish College Loan Program, the graduate school program, the Marvin Danto Business Loan Program. amazing things. Blessed to have an executive director, David Contour, leading Hebrew Free Loan, following the footsteps of another amazing executive director, Mary Keene, who led Hebrew Free Loan for a number of years as well. And following in that mission is such a part of who we are at Temple Shir Shalom. And so knowing that verses in the Torah, we love to mention that and connect that and make sure all of you are aware of this great organization that exists in our community. So interesting, this Torah portion is filled, Mishpatim, with sentences, with laws, prescriptions of what we must do. And it happens also to be the 40th anniversary of this Torah portion that I got to read at my bar mitzvah in 1981. And why Cantor asked me to chant Torah tomorrow morning at services. So I'll be chanting my bar mitzvah maftir tomorrow morning, trying what I can do. We'll see how it goes. So join us for our 10:30 minyan if you want to be amused. Watch Cantor cover for me, see how I do. I hopefully can remember it. I practiced a little today. I've gotten a little better, I hope, at Torah. But
we're just wondering if your voice is going to be as squeaky as it was when you were 13.
No, I matured early. I spoke a little quicker back then, though. Shocking, I know.
No.
Anyway, so that's a great thing to be able to honor tradition, and I'm honored to be able to do that. So thanks for linking that with Mishpatim. Other things that we can share that are exciting in our community that are coming up. We have lots of adult ed. Of course, my Monday morning musings, our community shaliach, Yiftach, he's an Israeli, he has no last name. Yiftach Leket will be my guest and teaching with me straight from Israel. He's been here, I don't know, a few months, and we'll talk about what he's doing as part of our community and bringing Israel more into our community. Tuesday night is our second master speaker, and we have a program about Shakespeare, and it should be something really beautiful. Oh, hi, Audrey. And that was random appearances from the program committee. So that's something really nice. And thank you to Marilyn Finkel-Brown for bringing her friends, the professors, to join us. Looking forward to that on Tuesday evening. You can register for that Zoom link, that webinar, so that you can be a part of that as well. On Thursday, Rabbi's taking us to Israel again. Where are we going this week, Rabbi?
This week, we're actually starting where we left off this past week. So we were learning about the War of Independence in 1948. And this time on Thursday, we're going to be learning about the 67 War. And we'll be back at Latrun, but we'll be moving on from there and touring the entire country as we learn about the 6-Day War.
Excellent. Purim begins for us next Sunday on the 21st with our Carnival, which is you sign up for a half an hour between 9 and 12:30 and get to enjoy some awesome things with us for our religious school families. There'll be people in costumes, there'll be photos, picture booths to take, there'll be jumpies, there'll be great things, all completely COVID safe, outdoor. So we look forward to that. Saturday before that is Purim in a Bag, our preschool to 7-year-old program, and exciting thing. All of us, of course, is at our website. On Thursday night, on Erev Purim, I'll be doing a cocktail making class and a text study about Purim. If you sign up for that in advance, by next Monday, by the 22nd, you can then, Tuesday to Thursday, pick up your little bag of goodies, which will be a few different whiskeys and some mix-ins and some special things to make the drinks that we'll be enjoying together. And then on Friday night, next 2 weeks from tonight, we have some Purim previews, a couple songs we'll share. And lastly, the big blowout on Saturday night on February 27th. We'll be enjoying our Purim spiel on our screens, all of us together, singing, dancing, and making music and drinking. Well, some of us will be. Sorry. Any Tish questions, Rabbi?
There was a Tish question that came in. Mitch Klein, I saw, asked about, and I've got to pull up the chat, going back there for a moment. Israel has always enjoyed bipartisan support. He's concerned as it seems to be changing. Any suggestions on how to make sure Israel can be important to both parties? So the premise of the question, the idea is that in recent times, yes, Israel has received bipartisan some support, and it's been wonderful. And lots of different organizations have worked to make sure that there isn't a partisan divide when it comes to Israel, saying let's make sure that this isn't something that becomes a partisan issue, but it continues to receive bipartisan support. And how do we make sure that that continues? It's by continuing to lobby our representatives on both sides of the aisle and making sure that they know that it's important to us and that it's not a partisan issue. That, as the only other democratic nation in the Middle East, or as the only democratic nation in the Middle East, that there's a lot that we can gain from our support of Israel, and that Israel gains from the support of the United States as well. That it's a two-way street going back and forth. The knowledge, ingenuity, the ideas that are shared that help protect us, our nation, and our soldiers at times too, which has been great. And so the biggest thing that we can do is making sure that we continue to lobby our representatives and support organizations that work towards making sure that it's a bipartisan issue. What I will share is that it hasn't always been a bipartisan issue. There were times, and I'm trying to remember, and maybe Rabbi can help me out. There was a book that was written that was introduced to us at AIPAC, and it talked about the different presidents and their relationship with Israel over the course of history. And as we see that at one point and numerous points, it was a partisan issue. Unfortunately, more recently, it's been bipartisan in the support as Israel has needed that support.
I don't remember the specifics, Rabbi, but I know what you're referencing. Look, I would say, in recent times, the strength of the support has gotten better, actually, and less convincing has been necessary. The idea of maintaining the embassy in Jerusalem was passed, strongly. The idea of supporting the $3.7 billion, I think, was passed. 97 senators voted in favor of that, continuing that. So, there's chatter behind the scenes, sometimes comments that are made. I was disappointed in some congressmen, senators, things that have been, and I speak up when I hear those things too, right? And I think it's important to do as well. So stay informed. That's one thing I'll talk about. My class, the Hot Topics class last week, was really about what the semantics mean for us, whether we call Israel or the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, occupied territories, West Bank, what that means, and what that means when you hear politicians say some of those words too. So, yeah.
Mitch, I couldn't find it as I'm looking on Google. That's the benefit of doing services on Zoom. But I will find that title because somewhere I have it downstairs or at Temple. And
was it Daniel Gordis's book? One of his books?
It may have been, but I know it's red, white, and blue on the front. It's mostly a red cover.
Yeah. Look, I have concerns about our country and Jews not being unified. Not that we all agree here at Temple Shir Shalom, but we agree about, how we honor other Jews. And the fact that the divisions that have occurred within the Jewish community now, I think, is a real challenging schism that will impact future generations if we don't figure out. And we're seeing that in Israel as well, right? Rabbi Daniel Schwartz sent us an article this week from the Washington Post that he saw, which was people who are castigating the Haredi community, the ultra-Orthodox, and how that's reflecting on the Jewish community and how Jews are concerned about that too. And look, I'm not pleased with how the behavior of the ultra-Orthodox community in not wearing masks or in having a 10,000 person funeral, right? 2 weeks ago. It's absurd in times like this. And we're all struggling in the midst of both celebrating life and honoring the loss of life when that occurs in unique circumstances and not being able to do what we would typically do. But we also respect the reality of taking care of ourselves, protecting ourselves, keeping ourselves safe. And so that's such an important value. And so why we as rabbis are doing funerals outdoors still in this weather, why we're only gathering with 25 people outdoors for a funeral. Because that's what's safest right now until we're all vaccinated and we're living beyond this pandemic, then we'll be able to move differently.
The book was not the Gordis book, which is about Gordis's book is We Stand Divided, the rift between America and Israel. So it's a different book from that. It talks about each one of the presidencies as we're going through too. As you talk about the Haredi community, the ultra Orthodox, and you lift that glass of wine. There was a story on NPR that my sister-in-law sent me about how they were working in B'nai Brak to bring in the community that wasn't doing a great job of vaccinating. And how do they do it? There's a traditional meal on Shabbat afternoon known as cholent, and they had a cholent party where they gave out free cholent to everybody and tripled the amount of people that they vaccinated in a day, on a typical day, by giving free cholent out. So good strategy.
Yes. I wish we had cholent to give out and vaccines to give out at our congregation. And if there's a way to make it happen, we will. And if it means that it happens during Sunday morning minyan, we'll use that as an opportunity to get together as well, Flo. So yes, services tomorrow morning at 10:30 on Shabbat, always, and on Sundays, every Sunday, 10 a.m. It's a Zoom link, and so you need to send us, or you actually can get to it for the website, register there, and we are able to get you the Zoom link. Hey, it is Shabbat. We give thanks for the sweetness of this day, the joy of Shabbat, as we join with Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim. Yivarechecha Adonai.
V'yishmerecha.
May God bless you. May God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God shine upon you, and may God shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God always be a part of who you are. Give you all of your blessings to appreciate, to notice, to recognize, to feel, and most of all, to bless us all with shalom, with peace in our heart and our mind, that we all can bring more peace into our world. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Good
Shabbat shalom. See you for our cheese in 4 minutes.